All right, what's up, Facebook? I hope everyone is having a beautiful day. Welcome to the Abundant Accountant podcast. That is what we are discussing today here. So if you own any sort of business, this will benefit you, I promise. So don't worry on that. But today I am talking about the benefits of collecting money upfront from clients. There's a lot of benefits to this. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. So if you have questions, put them in the comments down below. I'll do a Q&A at the end. Hey, Brazil, what's going on? So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So again, this is the Abundant Accountant podcast show. But again, if you own any sort of business, this will come into play. And these are my fun holiday ears. Or I also have these. Which ones do you guys like better? Or do you like both? I could do both for a little while. Okay, so if you are on Facebook, then if you're on my personal page, you might want to hop on over to the business page if you want to see slides today. Just saying. And if you're on my, where are you guys? Where'd everyone go? Okay, we're here. So again, I'm going to start the audio recording and we will get going for today. So welcome to the Abundant Accountant podcast. And today I am talking about the benefits of requiring upfront payments, how and why accountants should get paid before any work is done. It's really, really important. I've seen so many business owners, especially accounting firm owners lately, that are always chasing their clients down for, to collect on invoices on work they did 9 months ago. And unfortunately, it doesn't help you. It doesn't serve your clients well. So I often get asked by a lot of my accounting clients, how do I start charging upfront instead of getting paid like after the service is done? They're like, Michelle, how do you do that? I don't understand. And I totally understand. I'm right there with you. It may not be the most common practice for CPAs and accountants, but there is no reason why you can't incorporate this into your firm right away. And in this episode today, I will share all of the benefits of upfront payments and how to get your clients to really want to pay you upfront. And so you no longer have any accounts receivable. So that's what we're talking about today on the Abundant Accountant podcast. I am so happy that you're here joining me. I would be grateful if you would share this with your other accounting firm friends, colleagues, and coworkers. So some of the best times to really get upfront payments are, if you don't really have a contract yet with you and the client. So if you're in the beginning stages of building that rapport and building that client relationship with your clients, this is a great opportunity to, request payment up front. If you're working on a long-term project, that's another great way to really be able to collect money up front from your clients before you render and do any services whatsoever. It's also, if you have a new client that you don't fully trust yet, that's another great way to ask and demand for an upfront payment. And if you don't want any accounts receivables anymore, if you're sick and tired of chasing your clients all the time, trying to collect on invoices, I'm going to give you a couple of examples. I was working with a CPA not too long ago, and I was on the phone. I said, you know what? Last year, how much money do you not have in cash flow in your bank account because you provided services, you sent out invoices, and you never collected on the money yet? And one person told me $60,000 in accounts receivable. And to be honest, that's just absurd. It's crazy. You don't have time for that. And if you think about how much time you take or your staff takes collecting on money, you could be delivering that value and that service to your high-paying clients and never having to chase any clients ever again. So that accountant, let me tell you, started literally charging up front for all services and is slowly still collecting on that $60,000. But if you're really sick of being a bill collection company, then these are the times to get an upfront payment. Now, you might be wondering, well, Michelle, what are the benefits of getting paid up front? Conceptually, I understand it, but let me walk you through some of the different ways on, number one, why it's really important and why making the shift in your firm could be a really amazing opportunity for you to not only increase your revenue, but help with your cash flow. So requiring an upfront payment can make you actually seem a little bit more professional and trustworthy. And I'm going to give you another example of this. I obviously I love working with accountants, but lately I've been doing a leadership training. And if I look at the way the leadership training operates as far as their payments go, they require you to be paid in full before you start any of the training. Why is it in some industries like accounting or other industries, like even when you go to the doctor, you pay a copay and they send you a bill later, they have so many collections going on in collection companies and other areas. But the one area I see accounting professionals very similar to are a general contractor. And let me tell you, there is no one that's going to build you a house or build out an office building or a retail space for you without being paid 100% upfront. And I like to give my analogy of the general contractor because with my last company that I had for about 8 years, I built out a retail store. Even before they gave me the beautiful rendering of the store with all like the paint colors and, where the chairs and tables were going and everything else, I had to have 50% paid up front. So on a build out that was $100,000, I had to pay $50,000 right away. Well, before that, they give you the blueprints, the big stack of papers that you have to take to the city to get approved before you can actually start building it. They required the other 50%. So if you're like, Michelle, you know what, this idea is really good, but this is a big stretch. I've got 100, 200 clients and they've never been used to this before, then one of the best ways to make this happen is try the 50-50 rule. So have 50% payment right away, and then before you deliver the final tax returns or before you deliver the final tax plan, require the other 50%. It's like taking baby steps into a full 100% pay in full on the front end. But you'll thank me later. You'll send me an email. Michelle, this changed my business. I don't have to chase $60,000 anymore in accounts receivable. And it will be a win-win for everybody. So not only is it more of a professional way of doing it, and it has you be a little bit more trustworthy too, it really shows your confidence in helping your clients to really be able to request money up front. It's super duper important. And the other thing that it really helps, and I personally experience this because I also operate from this premise, is before I work with any client, they always pay me in advance. So it does help with cash flow. It ensures you have enough money in the bank, right? How many of you have teams of employees and then payroll comes around? Or how many of you have an office and the rent comes around? It's one of the biggest, greatest assets that you can bring to your firm if you can start implementing this. And like I said, baby steps, you can do 50% up front and then 50% before you deliver the final product service that you're giving your clients, be it the tax returns for this coming tax season. What if you implement that now, this tax season? How much would your firm change? It also really works well on longer term projects. So sometimes, like last week, I was working with one of my CPAs, and he was doing a tax plan for a client. Well, let's say the client, you already know their financial situation. Maybe they're in a cash flow crunch. Maybe they want to do a deposit and then start working with you in 3 weeks. You could do a $5,000 deposit or a $10,000 deposit and then collect the difference at, midway and then at the end. Whatever is going to work for you, I would say do that way first. But again, if it's a little too drastic to go to getting paid 100% in full right away, try the 50% right now and then 50% before you deliver a final tax return, or, if there's an IRS complaint letter that you're helping them fix, or a tax plan, or maybe you're doing CFO type services. If you're doing CFO type services, invoice on the 1st of every month before the services are provided. So if you're providing them, let's say, services for January, bill them on January 1st for the full month, and then provide the services from January 1st to January 31st. Getting paid up front also can help you cover out-of-pocket and unexpected expenses in your firm. So for example, what if you need to get a new software or there's an update on a software that comes out? If your clients, pay up front, then you will never have any problem with cash flow. So all of your cash flow challenges that you have in your business will go away, I promise. And it really prevents you from having a huge accounts receivable problem. Hunting people down to get them to pay you is just simply a waste of your time. And not only is it a waste of your time, I do believe that you're taking away precious time for the clients that you can be servicing at a higher level. I was talking to a CPA today, and he was telling me, Michelle, I don't have time to invest in learning more on how to better my clients. And I literally was like, okay, this is bizarre. Like, I'm scratching my head. I'm like, his main goal is to set himself apart from all of his peers. And I'm thinking, how are you going to set yourself apart if you're not willing to invest the time? And it's similar to chasing accounts receivable. It's going to free up time. You can spend the time on continuing education. You can spend the time on listening to this podcast more. You can spend this time on servicing your clients, or maybe you can actually spend this extra time traveling. And remember, this is the Abundant Accountant podcast. So this is to have the firm of abundance and the life of abundance. And if you want to have the life of abundance, it's really time to change the way you operate in your firm. Other reasons why getting paid up front really is important. It shows your value and it shows your worth. So not only do you have to know your worth as a CPA, but you also really need to understand the services that you're providing, right? And when we ask our clients to be paid in advance, it brings the level of worth and value from let's say you're at a 10% to like a 25%. It naturally elevates your value and your worth to your clients, and it sets you apart from a lot of other accounting firms. One of our clients that I've worked with, his name is Luke. I'm sure you've heard him on the show already, and I've talked about Luke before because Luke operates an efficient firm. So this is what Luke does. I'm going to share his secret, and I think he shared it with you, but I'm going to repeat it because it's so valuable. With clients that are doing monthly services with you, he bills on an ACH debit. If the client is not open to coming into the firm using the ACH debit, they're not a client of his firm. It's as simple as that. So he really set up some tight boundaries, but it's paid off for him. Not only has his revenue gone up, but his clientele's gone up. He's got an efficient system. None of his CPAs are calling and collecting money from clients, and all the services are getting charged in advance. So it's a win-win for the client and for him, and then the clients get the best service possible. Also, having clients paying you up front really does build trust. And you might be wondering, well, Michelle, how the heck does it really build trust? And it does because you can share that all of your other clients operate from this premise and that you really, truly understand. If a client says, well, how come you're, making us pay up front? I've never had to do that before. You can say, well, I completely understand how you feel and that no other accounting firm has ever asked you to get paid up front. And a lot of my other newer clients have felt the exact same way. But to be honest, I really want to service you to the highest level. And having you pay in advance for our monthly services, it'll just make this process smooth and easy and allow me to spend more time with you and your business and making sure your books are in order and that I'm saving you the most amount of money in taxes. So, are you willing to try something new and pay up front for your services and see the difference in the results that I'm able to provide to you as being a new client to my firm? That's a great way to share it with them. It really also might be beneficial for you to go back and listen to the trust building episode that I did. So if you go into iTunes or Google Play, you can just probably type in trust building and you'll find it there. And another great way on how to get clients to pay you up front and why it's really great is that you get to communicate and be transparent 100% up front. And really making sure both parties are 100% clear on everything, on the services you're going to be providing, on the engagement letters that you provided, on your service investment, like what are they going to be spending every month working with you? Or if it's a one-time engagement, how much is that engagement for? And then also being really clear on what you will not provide. I think there's a lot of clients and CPAs that I've worked with who say, well, Michelle, you know, the client, we engaged for this and then they expected X, Y, and Z. Having very, very clear, very important, outlines of your engagement letters is crucial. Offering guarantees in writing also helps. So I know about half the CPAs that I work with really do offer a guarantee on their work because they're that confident in delivering what they're promising. So like I always say, you want to under-promise and over-deliver. But if having a guarantee in there helps you get paid up front, it's worth it. And then over time, you're going to get so used to it, you'll be like Luke and say, well, if this doesn't fit your, cup of tea, then I've got another referral to send you to. But ultimately, having the guarantee just knows that you're that confident in the work that you're providing. You can offer a money back guarantee as well if you don't deliver on the promise. If that helps you, again, we're really working hard to have our clients pay in advance for services. So I'm giving you some other ways to help make that happen. And sometimes by doing a money back guarantee or just a guarantee in general, kind of eases it for the newer clients that you have coming in, or even your current ones when you're changing what you've done for the last 10, 20 years, right? Clients, and we don't like change. Not a lot of people like change. At least most people don't. I love change. I recently reread the book, Who Moved My Cheese? And when we talk about who's moving the cheese is just having things change on you. And sometimes change is great. But I can understand if you're thinking, well, Michelle, I have, 100 clients. They've been used to just getting an invoice from me 3 months after I do the work. And now I'm going to change it. Yeah, you can do a guarantee. You can do the 50% now and then 50% before you do the work or before you complete the final work. Whatever makes you feel really good about it and really comfortable. Again, this is so you can service and help your clients better and support them at the highest level. But really, you want to communicate as clearly as possible and answer all of your clients' questions. So there's no gray area. And I want to talk about the gray area because it's super duper important that we're really clear and to the point and there's no gray. You want it all to be like black and white, no gray area. And I already talked about this, but just to reiterate, being flexible, you can require a 50% payment at the time of the meeting and then 50% at the end as an option. So depending on what service you're doing, if it's a monthly retainer type service, I would not do this 50-50 option. I would charge 100% on the first of the month for services provided during the 1st and 30th or 31st of that month. And if you want, you can change things as the relationship goes on. I always think having a credit card on file for your clients is a wonderful idea if you've got a monthly service or just doing the ACH debit like Luke does. Again, how can you make the accounting in your accounting firm simple, easy, and convenient for you and your clients, but ultimately it's so you can spend more time servicing them, helping them, and getting better results for your clients so you don't feel so overwhelmed. So one goal I want you to take away from today, because I know this is a big shift for some of you, is getting paid up front does have a lot of benefits for your firm. But we can only start seeing the results if you take one thing and put it action today and making that shift happen. So what is one thing that you can take into action or put into action today that we talked about today on the Abundant Accountant podcast? All right. So those of you on Facebook, I stopped the audio there, but if you've got any questions or comments, you can put it in the comments below, and I can get to them if there are any questions. If not, this does work, like I said, for anybody who has a business, a service-based business. It's a wonderful way to do it, and I hope you liked my holiday headband. But yeah, no, it was a short, sweet, to the point episode. I hope you found it very helpful, and I will see you all very soon. Again, I just did the Logitech camera giveaway, but if you are looking for a gift, a holiday gift or anything, make sure to grab yourself a Logitech camera. It is definitely the best investment I ever made. I was so grateful for their sponsorship over the last quarter and just want to thank Logitech camera for everything. I use them for even the accountants. You guys have your firm and you're doing calls with clients. It's great for that too. They have the headset and the mic one. It's like $19. So I think Amy will post the link to the Logitech camera, so you can grab one today. And I want to wish you all a very happy holiday season, and I will see you in 2019. Have a great night.